A wicked plot has moved from the palace walls to the deep cocoa plantations of Osun State. They are trying to use a farming cutlass to settle a personal grudge. Olori Shado's family is being dragged to court to lose their livelihood, all because she chose her husband, the Golden King, over the secret plans of the elders. But the Golden King has stepped out in a way that has left the enemies trembling. A prayer for my crown gist friends and families. May every enemy trying to uproot your source of livelihood be put to open shame, and may God raise a Golden King to defend your heritage. Amen. We hold our traditions in high regard, so we use special fictional names for certain sacred titles and places in the land of the Golden Crown. Stay with us and it will all make perfect sense. The land of the Golden Crown is witnessing something today that should serve as a warning to everyone. They say when a man cannot beat you in the palace, he goes after your family's farm. That is exactly the wicked game being played right now. The news has just broken that the family of Olori Shado has been dragged to court over their massive palm and cocoa plantations in Osun State. My people, this is not just a small piece of land. This is an empire. For decades, Olori Shado's family lived quietly, minding their own business and working the soil. Their cocoa trees and palm oil were the backbone of their survival. This land paid school fees, sent their children to study abroad, built hospitals, and supported widows in the community. It was their life, their hope, and their heritage. But suddenly, the air has turned sour. Why? Because Olori Shado made a choice that the fallen elders could not swallow. She used to be close to them. She was part of their inner circle, and she saw the evil they were planning. But she had a change of heart. She chose her marriage, she chose truth, and she chose to stand by her husband, the Golden King. For that sin of choosing righteousness, the enemies decided to strike her where it hurts the most, her roots. Suddenly, the Ife elders are claiming that the very land her ancestors worked on actually belongs to them. They are waving old papers and making noise in court, claiming the plantation is contested land. The intensity of this move is clear to everyone. It is not about the soil, it is about punishment. They want to make her family go broke. They want to see her parents and relatives begging for bread so that Olori Shado will regret the day she ever stood by the Golden King. It is a cold, calculated move to intimidate anyone else who might think of siding with the king. The suspense is rising because this is no longer just palace gossip. It's a legal war that could destroy a family's legacy. But what the enemies forgot is that a lion does not want his own be attacked without showing his claws. The ground is shaking as the truth prepares to come out.
The courtrooms in the land of the Golden Crown has seen many cases, but nothing like this. The atmosphere was vibrating with a different kind of energy as the legal battle over Olori Shado's family land kicked off. You see, the enemies thought they were being smart. They thought that by attacking her father's cocoa and palm plantations, they would leave the family scattered and confused. They expected Olori Shado's family to panic, to run to them begging for mercy, or to use violence to protect their crops. But they miscalculated. They forgot that when you are on the side of truth, you don't need to shout. You just need to stand firm. Olori Shado's family did something that shocked the IFE elders. Instead of making noise on the streets, they gathered their history. They brought out their plans from 50 years ago that were already turning yellow with age. They brought witnesses, old men and women who remember when the first cocoa seeds were planted. They presented family records that showed how this land had been passed down from generation to generation. They showed evidence of how they had paid taxes and managed the plantation responsibly for decades without a single soul ever questioning them. The suspense in the courtroom was so heavy you could feel it in your bones as document after document was laid on the table, proving that this land was theirs by birthright. But the real shocker, the one that made the enemy's heart skip a bit, was the arrival of the Golden King's shadow in that case. The Golden King did not just sit in the palace and send get-well-soon messages to his wife's family. No, he threw his full weight behind him. He made it known through his legal team and his representatives that he was watching this case with both eyes open. His support was not just a whisper, it was a roar. He provided high-level legal backing that the family could never have afforded on their own. He sent security awareness to the plantation to make sure that no thugs or unknown persons would go there to burn down the cocoa trees in the middle of the night. The Golden King made a statement that echoed throughout the land of the Golden Crown. He said that Olori Shado's decision to leave the path of evil and stand for the truth was a heroic act, not a crime. He made it clear that choosing one's husband and exposing the rot within the palace council was not a betrayal, but an act of righteousness. He told the world that he would never tolerate a situation where a family is punished because their daughter chose to do the right thing. The moment the enemies realized that the Golden King was personally involved, the wind left their sails. In Osun State, everyone knows that when the Golden King stands for you, the case is already settled in the spirit before the judge even bangs the gavel. The enemies who thought they were going to stab Olori Shado's family suddenly found themselves staring into the eyes of the lion who was ready to protect his bride.
The streets of the land of the Golden Crown are now buzzing with only one topic: the bravery of Olori Shadow and the loyalty of the Golden King. People are talking in the markets, in the schools, and under the shade of the big trees. They are saying that they have never seen anything like this before. For decades, the IFE elders were seen as untouchable, but now the people are saying that their power is built on a foundation of sand and long legs. The fact that they tried to use a land dispute to settle a palace grudge has made many people turn against them. Even the youth who used to look up to these elders are now asking, if you can do this to a family that has farmed for 50 years, what will you do to us? The cocoa and palm plantations are more than just trees. They are symbols of the family's sweat and blood. Every harvest season used to be a time of joy, but the enemies tried to turn it into a time of mourning. They wanted the cocoa pods to rot on the trees because the family was too afraid to go to the farm. But with the Golden King's security present, the workers have returned. The sound of the cutlass hitting the palm fruit is now a song of victory. The enemy's plan to bankrupt the family has failed woefully. Instead of the family becoming poor, their story has become a testimony that is bringing them more respect and more support from the public. One thing that is making people laugh, though it is a serious laughter, is how the IFE's elders are now the ones looking confused. They thought Olori Shadow was a lone ranger, someone they could easily crush. They didn't realize that she had become the jewel in the king's crown of protection. They thought they could use tradition to snatch the land, but they found out that the king is the custodian of the highest tradition and he will not allow it to be used for wickedness. The intensity of the support for the family has grown so large that even people from other states are calling to offer their solidarity. Olori Shadow herself has remained calm. She hasn't been seen shouting or throwing insults. She's just standing behind her husband, watching as the truth fights her battle for her. She knows that if she had stayed with the elders and their secret plans, she would have been protected by them, but her conscience would have been in prison. Now she might be facing a court case, but her soul is free. And with the Golden King by her side, that court case is nothing but a temporary distraction. The message is flying across the land: touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. The enemies thought they were digging a pit for Olori Shadow's family, but it looks like they are the ones who will eventually fall into it. As we wrap up this intense update, the land of the Golden Crown is waiting for the final word from the court. But if you listen to the whispers in the air, the verdict has already been passed by the people. The ISC elders have lost the moral war. By trying to destroy a family's livelihood over a palace disagreement, they have shown their true colors. The Golden King has used this opportunity to show that he is a father to the fatherless and a defender of the oppressed. His public stand has united the palace in a way we haven't seen in a very long time. Olori Shadow's family is still standing, their cocoa trees are still growing, and their palm oil is still flowing. This attempt to intimidate them has only made their roots go deeper into the soil of the land of the Golden Crown. The legal backing from the palace is solid and the evidence of ownership is undeniable. The enemies are now the ones scrambling, looking for a way to withdraw the case without losing face completely. But the world is watching and the record has been set.
Now, my dear Crown Gist friends and families, before I go, I have to remind you of something very important. Everything we have discussed here, the court case, the secret motives of the elders, and the specific details of the Golden King's legal support, these are all alleged reports and based on rumors making the rounds on social media. None of these details have been officially confirmed by a statement from the palace or the courts yet. For now, please treat all this information as social media rumors and unverified gist. We are just here to give you the breakdown of what the streets are saying. The drama is far from over. Will the elders finally back down, or do they have one more wicked card to play? You know that Crown Gist will be here to give you the update as it drops.